Hey guys, it's Kale here again. Sorry I'm on the road. I hope you don't get any road noise, but I'm driving, I'm listening to some football. It's Sunday afternoon right now. I'm listening to some football, and I'm not even thinking about the games I'm listening to. I'm thinking about the Niners right now. I don't even know why I'm thinking about the Niners. Well, I do know, and I'm going to get there, but I just want to make it dramatic and a slow build. So I'm going to take my time getting to the next sentence. In fact, I'm going to put another sentence before it, and that would be this one right now. Mac Jones, he was a first-round pick way back when. Not way back when, but a few years ago. And it really didn't pan out for him, I mean, Mac Jones, there were some moments it shone through, okay, wait, he could do something here. He could be good. But he just never really looked like that first-round pick that he was until you get him on the Niners, and I'm watching the game wow, he's making some passes here. He's looking good. Then I thought even further back in my memory, which is hard to do for me because I bonk my head a lot, and I was like, wait, I've said this before, but about Brock Purdy. And I was like, wait, no, this is just what a Shanahan offense does. Is just make a quarterback look really good a bit. Their game scheming, play calling, everything like that. And all the players around them, yes, they don't have Debo, who obviously, Debo's a great receiver, and having him makes anyone look really good. But they don't have him this year, and they still manage to make QBs look better than they actually are. Granted, maybe Mac Jones is good, but I don't think so. I wouldn't, if Mac Jones was my starting quarterback on my fantasy team, I would be trading for a new quarterback. I wouldn't want him. But then you watch him in a game playing for the Niners, and it's wait, he could be legit. Brock Purdy. And you want to go way back? I'll name drop someone. How about Jimmy G? Super Bowl quarterback, technically. But now what is Jimmy G going to do? Nothing, dude. It's Jimmy Garoppolo. So I don't know. I just think it's worth noting when you watch some of these teams, the person throwing the ball isn't always the most important player on that field at the time. And sometimes a player isn't even the one making the biggest difference in a game. And I think that's what we have with the 49ers. I don't think they're a juggernaut team. But I think they're someone you should worry about personally. And I would stay pretty far away from them in terms of fantasy. I mean, yes, you can get Christian McCaffrey. But I'm never on the Christian McCaffrey hype train, he's the best running back in the league. What did he do in Carolina? What did he do there? Carolina Panthers suck. Niners aren't too hot either. I don't know. A lot to think about in this one. I just want to say that karma's real. She's not kind. But neither am I if I brought this on me, really. Tanner, I'm sorry, man. Cap, I called you out last week. I said I was smoking you. I'm sorry, man. I am. Because this week, in our other league, what do? You go and put me in a situation where I need Etienne to outscore Josh Allen to catch a W. What am I supposed to do here, dude? Because I'm not rooting for my win. I'm not. I can't sit here maybe we'll just we'll just hand it off to James Cook all day and Josh won't get points. I don't want to see that. I want good Buffalo Bills football, all right? Is that too much to ask for? And this week, it seems that it comes at the cost of my sanity. What am I supposed to do here? What am I supposed to do here? I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to bleed blue. I mean, go Bills. Oh, but Lordy, you're testing me. You're testing me. Why should a personal win come at the expense of my community? It shouldn't. And I can't, in good conscience, hope to win fantasy this week. And You know, like, a lot of people are just going to mark this loss down as a loss. But when you actually get into the nitty-gritty details, like, really, it's a noble sacrifice on my end. Because I can't beat Tanner, because then, like, I'm not a Bills fan. So I'm a hero, I think. Jackson Dart! Yeah, baby! He's at it again this week! Oh my God! How many times have we fallen into the trap of thinking, like, oh, the Giants are a failing franchise, there's nothing you can do about them? Like, after that Super Bowl they won as a kid, like, they haven't done anything, and, like, they've looked awful. Like, remember the year the NFC East was just, like, the garbage division? Commanders, Cowboys, and Giants all look terrible. And then you get Scatabo and Dart, and it's like they are the team to watch. Not because, like, oh, like, they're the new juggernaut. Like, no, they are just fun. It's so fun watching young players that are hungry in the league. And that's what we've got here. And it's just so heartwarming to see someone hungry to pound that ball in the end zone. Hoorah! Can someone out there explain to me, like, why Kyler Murray is still talked about like he's not fighting to not be a backup? You know, maybe, like, my grammar there confused people, but I don't think Kyler Murray is worth very much as a franchise QB, personally. Like, he's throwing every ball up in the air to try to get over the line because he can't see above it. Like, when he was new to the league, he looked hot, you know. He looked like he was playing fastball quite a lot, scrambling, which a scrambling QB is such a big trap, because what you see is someone making big plays. You see someone under pressure finding a way out. But what you are also seeing is someone who can't stand in a pocket, find a good pass to make, and make the check down. You know, like, you're seeing someone who can't remain calm while there's pressure around him. And you're also seeing an offensive line that can't protect their QB, typically, right? So we watched Kyler Murray scramble for his first couple of years, and it was like, oh, this guy's fast. He's so fast. Look at him go. But I've seen a person, fall into the trap of Kyler Murray year after year, and I'm not going to name names. Longtime friend. He might be listening right now. I don't know, but this kid freaking picks up Kyler Murray basically every year in fantasy. This kid also loses in fantasy every year. This kid is also older than me, but he's going to remain a kid until he can win fantasy and not draft Kyler Murray. Yeah. But, like, I've seen this guy order merch for Kyler Murray. You're a Bills fan and you're ordering, like, Kyler Murray's brand of t-shirt, and it's like, do you think he's that good? Do you think he's that likable? Are you a Cardinals fan deep down? I don't get it. Why the hype on Kyler Murray? Because in my ideal world, he's a backup for, like, fucking Jameis Winston or something, you know? Like, I'd rather watch Winston air the ball out as someone who's not even on the field than watch Kyler Murray, like, run around like a little garden gnome, dude. I don't know. I'm not sold on him, let alone the fact he's, like, a FaZe Clan member or something, and, like, I stay up every night before the game to play Call of Duty. Bro, Kyler, we know. We see it in your gameplay. Josh ain't doing that. Josh was up the night before, and he is, like, he's doing some man stuff the night before. I bet you Josh chops some firewood, drinks a beer, and goes to bed with Haley Steinfeld. Kyler Murray ain't doing that. And Kyler Murray ain't the MVP, baby. But seriously, like, save yourself the trouble this year, next year, any future year. Stay away from Kyler Murray unless your starting QB is, like, Mac Jones. You know? Unless you're, like, really slim pickings already. He's the least franchisey of franchise QBs, maybe? I don't know. Like, leave a comment right now Let me know your thoughts on Kyler Murray. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm just a Kyler Murray hater. He's always had decent weapons. I don't know, like I never follow. Motorcyclist just went by. He's wearing a t-shirt. He's gonna freaking scuff up his arm or some shit. Goddamn old heads. Aye. No helmet and a t-shirt. Like, dude, you're playing like Kyler Murray out here. Shit. No, that's like a Cam Scatterbo move. Anyways, I don't follow the Cardinals religiously, but I like Trey McBride. I don't know. They've had weapons for Murray, and what has he done? Nothing. They're stinky, dude. Murray is stinky. I don't think he's legit. If I was a Cardinal front office worker, I would be thinking about what I could get for Kyler Murray if you gave him to someone like, where would I like to see him? Kyler Murray might do decent on the Jets, but that's also a revolving door where like, oh, this QB would do good there. We should do what they look like there. Let's not fall into that trap. Let's not send someone else to New York, New Jersey, because that's just a career ender. But you know, actually, Kyler Murray would make a decent Finn, actually. You know, he would have a lot of really quick people on his team, which serves for his play style well, because, like, okay, someone's downfield quick, or I'm running, you know, or I'm handing it off to H-Han, whatever you want to do, but, like, I feel like you could make a good Finn, and, like, weirdly enough, FaZe Clan fits in Miami way better than like, Arizona. Like, Arizona is filled with people who open carry to church, not people who grind the new Call of Duty for Dark Matter the second it comes out, even though you're in the middle of your NFL season. Oh my god, I hope every, like, Murray fantasy owner is just sitting here watching the release date of Black Ops 7 knowing I'm going to have to trade for a new QB that week. You're going to have to, because Murray ain't playing well that week, you know? He's playing COD, and he'll probably do that well, realistically. And, like, I probably will be too, but I'm also not, like, no one's got Cale Sutterby as a leg of their parlay, you know? No one needs me to get a touchdown, or, like, 2 passing touchdowns to pay rent. If you are betting your rent money on Kyler Murray to get 2 passing touchdowns, though, like, genuinely call the hotline, please. It's time. Your mother's worried sick about you, dude. Please. Jordan, you're so far down. You need to call the hotline. I don't want to get your parents involved, but brother, like, either put in a decent parlay for once it's actually going to hit, or just delete the apps. It's not working. It's not working. Alright, this one, like, I don't have a point with this segment. But I'm going to come up with a name for it, and I think that's just going to be, like, teams I'm confused by. You know, like, Football's media mishaps. That's what this will be. Football's media mishaps. I just want to talk about all those teams that, like, every year there's a couple where, like, you put on NFL Network or something, and Stephen A. Smith is like, these guys are going to the Super Bowl, okay? They're going to beat those Cowgirls. They're going to beat them. They're the best team in the NFL, okay? Screw your Bills. Screw your Chiefs. Screw your Eagles. These guys are the GOATs, you know? And, like, it'll be like the Broncos. Like, what? Yeah, like, I feel like every week someone's trying to tell me, like, the Broncos have got it this week. Like, oh, they're going against the Eagles. The Eagles are undefeated. That much pressure they can't keep up with. It's Bo Nix, like, under center. It's, you know, okay, the Broncos aren't bad. They are very much like, I don't want to say they're in the middle of rebuilding, because, like, they have pieces around, you know. It's not like they are hopeless, like they're New York Jets or something. But people always want to talk about teams where it's clearly not their year as though it is. Be realistic. I'm seeing great football out of a lot of teams this year that aren't going to make the playoffs. And that's okay. That is okay. I'm seeing fantasy points from people I know won't be there in February. That's okay. The media doesn't have to convince me everyone's a juggernaut, because then no one's a juggernaut, you know? You got 2 undefeated teams right now. Act like it, okay? Like, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. And then we want to go and act like just because a team like the Ravens has lost their QB, that now they're on the level of someone like the Giants or the Jets or sad New Jersey teams. Like, no, like, I get it. They're missing their QB. They're losing games. They're dropping them quick. They look stinky this week, but you can't pretend like the world is not what it is. We live in a real world. We watch real football. Watch the game, not Stephen A. Smith. That's my point. I know I threw a lot of shade at, like, the Broncos there. But let's be real, you know, like, it's not their year this year. That's okay. That is okay, guys. It's okay to not have a winning, like a championship winning season if it shows you're making progress. You know, like, they are putting out great highlights here and there. They are a fun team to watch. Like the Giants, you know, like Jackson Dart starts all week. I'm listening to ESPN radio, and they're toting about it like, okay, the Giants might win the division this year. No, like, that's just not going to happen record-wise. But it is so exciting to see a good QB and a good young running back, like, having a day. And I get it. I'm talking about them just the same right now. I'm excited too. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Like, let's recognize we are seeing promise out of young guys. We aren't seeing young guys who are going to hold the league in a throat. We aren't seeing a new dynasty. We see glimpses of Pat Mahomes scurry around the field, and we're like, oh, the dynasty's back. It's not. It's not. We know it's not. Just like Swifties know the new album sucked. The Chiefs kind of suck. They are likely going to win their division because it's the Chiefs. I will sooner rot in a grave before the Chiefs lose the division in my low 20s. You know, like, as a young adult, this is the bed I was given, and I have to sleep in it. The Chiefs are a good team. Pains me to say it every time, but they are. And when people look at a division like that, and they're like, but the Chargers, yes, we've seen wonderful promise out of the Chargers every year. I haven't seen the Chargers win a division lately, you know, in the Patrick Mahomes era. There's a lot of things that you don't see, but people still talk about as if it's actually happening. We see last year, do you remember the 70 points the Dolphins put up? They ran it up that week, and it was like, oh my God, this is the best team in the NFL. Like, everyone was wrong going in. Oh my God, they're the best. And then what? Someone, like, comment what the Dolphins' record was over here. Like, give me a timestamp or something. Say what the hell you're talking about. Because if you just say, like, 9-8, I'll know what you're talking about, actually. If you say 9-8. I don't think they were 9-8, but, like, we always want to talk about teams like they're better than they are. And I just feel like when you are constantly praising people for their best highlight and not acknowledging their average play, you're doing a disservice to the league. You're doing a disservice to yourself, as anyone who wants to talk about football out there. But you're also doing a disservice to that player, right? Because suddenly you are raising the bar so high for them. For like let's say you're talking about, you know, a defensive back, and he gets one pick off a tip ball, but then every other highlight is him getting his hands in there but dropping it, you know? And you're gonna be like, well, he should be making these picks because he can. What about a fourth down play? I'm not grabbing that ball, I'm getting my hands in there and dropping it, you know? Like, there's so much situational football where, like, people are doing great. They're doing their job really well, maybe even above average, and they get one pick, they get one good play where suddenly they are supposed to be the new Cam Chancellor, or like they're supposed to be the new Kansas City Chiefs. And everyone has a good play in them. I'm an optimist. I think everyone has a good play in them. And we should be encouraging people to bring that out, yes. But when you only look at people for those good plays, you don't see the misses that they can learn from. But you also don't see the misses against teams that are like genuinely better. You know, so you get this off-kilter reality in your brain when you only listen to the media and don't watch ball, where it's like, oh shit, yeah, like the Pats are really good. Like the Pats did well last week. Pats might win the division. I'm talking before it kickoff on Sunday when the Pats play the Bills in Buffalo. So hey, I might be eating my socks on this, but I don't see the Pats winning a division in this division, you know. And like everyone sees one game and is quick to forget the facts. So I don't know if anyone has a specific team that I should be talking about right now. Maybe the Bucks, but I don't think the Bucks are necessarily in this boat because I see more promise in the Bucks. Oh my God, I'm doing it. No, the Bucks are in this. The Bucks are a media mania team. People see Baker Mayfield do something, and it's like, okay, wait, no, we slept on him too much, which we did. We passed the blame of the Browns onto Baker Mayfield, which we shouldn't have. But he's not the MVP. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen. He's not. He's a great. I like Baker Mayfield. He's really fun to watch. But we have to be realistic about who's making plays and who's not and what plays they are making. I would trust my team to Baker Mayfield. Yes, I would. In the playoffs, yes, I would. Would I rather have Joshua P. Allen? Yes, I would. It's okay. We can pick the best players week in, week out. We can watch awesome highlights from Baker Mayfield and be like, okay, you know what? Let's move him up on the ranking spot, but just be realistic, guys. You know? Too often, we watch a team like the Dallas Cowboys start the season off, this is going to be our year. And then they drop a couple games, and they think, we need a new head coach. It wasn't Jason Garrett that was the issue. It wasn't. Jason Garrett, if for some reason you ever find yourself watching this YouTube video, just know, JG for P, bro. I would vote for you for president. You were a pretty good coach, and I really like you when you like commentate games, you just talk football. I think you have great takes. And you lose a couple games, and what does the media do? They make you out to be a villain, dude. I'm talking directly to you now, JP. Every other viewer, just skip ahead a little bit. This isn't for you. You were a good coach. You, I imagine, commanded powerfully in the locker room. Like you have very good takes, and you say them with respect, and I imagine you can push people pretty well. You have great football IQ, but people turned on you so quick. First Dallas fan to say it's your fault, and suddenly ESPN's blaming you for a week, and you lose your job in the middle of the week. And you know what? The Cowboys didn't do any better without you, man. So I just want to say, remember this when you're in the media room. Remember all these moments where we're blaming one person, or we see one play and we think an extreme. It's hardly ever the extreme. Hardly ever. I just want to preach moderation when we talk football here. Unless we're talking about Kyler Murray. Get that bum out of the league, bro. I'd rather watch him on a Twitch stream than on a Sunday evening when I'm watching the game, personally. But yeah, just keep your ears to the ground. And I'm rambling now, so I should cut this segment out. But Jason Garrett, thumbs up, especially on ESPN and NFL networks. I think he's very good there. I think he does a great job. Kyler Murray, thumbs down. Jackson Dart, way up, dude. He looks really good. Not like, oh, he's the next juggernaut. He's a young QB who's making some fun plays, and it's fun to watch. I can remain calm about it. I do think it's important I actually talk about my fantasy team a little bit. So this week I made a couple moves. The one I really want to talk about today, I traded Zay Flowers away for Travis Etienne. I really needed a running back like that. And I like Etienne's game. I think he's a good back. At the moment, I think on the NFL app, it had him listed as like the 10th highest QB or RB at the time. And Zay Flowers was maybe like, I think he was 18th best receiver. But I was also swimming in receivers, and he was the one who just lost his QB, so I was like, okay, yeah, send that over to Cam Holland. I'll like that one. I just use full name on YouTube. I won't give a shit, I hope. Shout out Cam. Yeah. So I hope that trade works out for the both of us, but like obviously me more. I wasn't going to start Zay because he lost his QB, so I'm not starting him personally. I'm not one to do that. I don't like to leave it up to a backup QB at all. I don't trust that. Obviously, you made it in the league for a reason. You can make some throws. Just not on my starting team. I don't want to hear the chirps if I lose, you know? Yeah. So that was really my big move in fantasy this week. But I also, I just had to change the lineup up a bit. I wanted to start Wan'Dale Robinson this week. So I put him in at flex in one of my leagues. Just because, I thought he was going to pop off with Neighbors being out. But I saw their tight end getting all the touchdowns. So I was not familiar with that connection. Speaking of tight ends, Darren Waller, 2-touchdown game. I just had to take a couple minutes before I could talk about Darren Waller. So many of you guys don't know this, many of you do. Last season in NFL fantasy, the evil, corrupt commissioner went in the back channels on the NFL app, and he actually added Darren Waller into my draft lineup list that I had made. So it's my turn to draft, and I was not paying the most attention because I had already had all my guys I wanted set up, so I was just clicking the first one. Whoever's still available is the guy I want. Is how I set it up. And evil commissioner goes behind my back and puts Darren Waller at the top of the list. It's I don't know, 5th round maybe. I'm like, oh sweet, I'll just, the guy I want on my list is still here. Let's go. It's late in the evening. I'd maybe partaken in some things, and I'm not paying the most attention. Suddenly Darren Waller's on my team. And yeah, the only thing Darren Waller did last season was make rap videos. So clearly not many fantasy points in that. And what does he do this year? He announces he's not retired anymore and is going to be a Finn. Of course. Don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it, but I'm gonna for you guys because I care about you guys, and I think it's important to be open and honest about my fantasy team if that's what we're here for. Darren Waller scored 2 touchdowns today. I don't know if he scored 2. I didn't actually catch the first one. I just saw the second one. I'm making up the worst possible scenario in my head. Darren Waller's going to score 4 touchdowns today out of retirement. And every time he scores a touchdown, my fantasy group chat, ding, ding, Darren Waller out of retirement. Oh, Kale was just 2 ahead of the curve. What is that? Why is a player allowed to unretire from the NFL? Why? It should be a one and done thing, or else you have Rob Gronkowski, who is just breaking contracts, written contracts that he signed. He's breaking by announcing retirement and then announcing he's unretiring to go play with Tom Brady again. You shouldn't be allowed to retire and unretire. It should be you get one chance in the NFL. I get it if you take a break because you're injured. That's not retirement, Christ. Now we have people like Colin Kaepernick still saying he's looking for a job. No, dude, you're out. You're out. You had a chance. You're out. Darren Waller, go back to rap, bro. I don't want to see you on a field. If I see you the next time Buffalo plays you, I'm throwing a snowball at you, bro. Okay? This isn't cool. This isn't a joke. You shouldn't have been in my draft lineup. Screw the commissioner for adding him there. That's cheating. And, I don't want to talk about the commissioner because this guy's actually really shady. And I think about leaving this league because of a lot of cheating that he does. But it goes unnoticed because he's the commissioner. I don't want to talk about that. I think it's a bad look to openly talk about that. So I'm going to leave it at that. But Darren Waller, what the hell is even that, man? What is that? You shouldn't be allowed to do that to me. Because now I look like a fool. I look like a fool now. Because you're retired, somehow you're on my team, and then you unretire the next year and you're like popping off. I know ball better than that, Darren. And that shouldn't be allowed, man. Alright? So screw you, man. I have Trey McBride now. God. So I have let's call this the discussion board segment of the video. Because I have some ideas I want to bounce off people. And I don't even have a fully formed opinion. I'm just I've got some thoughts rolling around, right? So, I want to talk defense in fantasy football here today. Because there's a lot of different strategies you could pursue when you're picking a defense for fantasy football. And, I've done fantasy several years now, and I've employed the same strategy every year. I try to get the Bills defense because I'm I like the Buffalo Bills, and we have defenses. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But genuinely, I'm wondering if your best bet as a defense is to have the same one every week, right? And if so, there's two reasons I want to get into on why you would pick the one you're picking if you're keeping the same defense every week. Or are you going to be a waiver weaver, Are you going to pick a new defense up every week who's going against who you believe to be the worst team that's available? Is that something people do? Because I know, some people, not have a resident kicker in their facilities. They'll just bring one in every week. And I wonder if that's a good idea for defense. Because, I'll pick up whatever team is playing the Saints every week. I'll do it. They'll probably put up 10 points a game. This year, I went with, I want to keep the same defense on my team all year, and that's how I normally go. I don't like waivers that much. I don't like relying on waivers because I feel a lot more stressed about it. But I also feel as though I'm gambling, and I love gambling. But I don't want to have to gamble. I don't want to have to gamble. I don't want to rely on Tyjae Spears for a week and then rely on Addison, who's going to get hurt or something. Addison wouldn't be on a waiver wire if he wasn't hurt, obviously, but I don't like to have to rely on waivers. I've done really well off waivers before. I've done really bad. I think it would make sense for a defense, though, because your defense, I've had a defense score me 20 points before. That doesn't happen. Your defense, you're going to get 6 to 12. 12 would be nuts. No defense is scoring 12 games. No defense is scoring 12 points every game. So I can understand the waiver defense. My strategy this year was to pick a team that I think is going to have a very strong defense in terms of pressures and turnovers, right? Are you following my thinking? Because I believe a sack is half a fantasy point. It might be one, it might be none. I went into it thinking it was half a point. So I thought, it'd be pretty cool to have Micah Parsons. Just traded to the Packers. Really going to beef up that line with them. It'd be cool to have Micah Parsons. I essentially was thinking about it okay, my defensive slot this year, I want to think of them as my pass rusher. My defense is my pass rusher. It doesn't have a D, it's PR. And so I was what pass rusher do I want on my team? I want Micah Parsons. And it's okay. It's okay. I don't think it's the best strategy though. More and more I'm finding that points on board mean the most for your defense's fantasy points. Points, yards by yards. Sorry. Yeah, no. I think points scored by the opposing offense mean a hell of a lot more than any picks or sacks you get. Like a pick six, that's a lot of points. Can't count on that every week, you know? Well, what you can count on is a defense that is able to hold someone to 200 yards a game versus a defense that's going to let you just march down and score and you're relying on your offense, you know? So I steered clear of the Bills' defense a bit because the Bills' defense isn't what keeps us in a game. We win games because we score games because we score 30 points every week and have a defense that is good enough to hold you to 28. You know, we don't have a defense that's going to hold you to 0. And not many defenses do that very well. Those usually go pretty quick, obviously, in terms of fantasy. But I'm just very curious what you guys look for in a fantasy defense. Am I overthinking it? Do I just go for whatever team is looking the best right now? Or should I be looking for a team that's going to turn the ball over, you know? But can you count on that? Is that consistent enough? It seems like something you could make a spreadsheet about, but I'm not gonna. But I'm gonna talk about it. This all just really made me start thinking about kickers too. Yeah, I think a lot about football while I drive personally, especially during the season. But right now I'm thinking about kickers. I'm like, you are never gonna pick up the kicker on the best team, right? Like, you could have the world's best field goal kicker on the world's best offense, and they won't be the world's best fantasy kicker. Slow down. Stop yelling at me, okay? Seamus, calm down. Hear me out. You want the best kicker on a mid-team. Not bad, but not a good team. You want the most mid-offense you can find, because that's an offense that's going to get them across the 50. You know? They'll get them across the 50, but they aren't setting up for a close field goal. You know, they aren't going to have them kicking a 25er. And they aren't going to have them kicking any extra points. So you're at least looking, like, you want a team who can get within, like, 30 yards of the goal line. Because then you're kicking, like a 45er? And that's points, fantasy-wise. Yeah, so I would really be looking for, obviously, like, you want the Cowboys kicker because they're going to have them line up on the moon one of these days. You want the Cowboys kicker this year. But I'm thinking, like, weirdly, the Chiefs kicker, the Chiefs have been very dependent on getting close and using up their downs, see what they can get, then taking the points. So weirdly, like, Butker would be good to pick. And then you feel good when you pick up Butker because every missed kick, it's like you just gave a woman a PhD. You know, like there's a certain level of feminism to Harrison Butker missing a kick that's exciting when he's on your team, I imagine. It's like every kick he misses for your team, you aren't upset about. You're like, yeah, let's go Ruth Bader Ginsburg, rest in peace. It's good. But I would also look at someone like Boswell. I am personally a really big Boswell fan, the kicker for the Steelers. It might sound weird. I think it's a little different this year than last. Last year they were very field goal dependent, and Boswell was like nuclear. This year he's okay. They're scoring a couple more touchdowns a game, it seems, than last season. So, or at least like touchdowns instead of field goals per game. We're just a better red zone team, I think. So, I feel like that's very easy. So if you want to pick out a kicker this year, just go to your red zone teams and, highest scoring red zone teams. Go to like the 15th, 16th place team. I'd be very curious to see who that is this season. Probably freaking Kyler Murray and the Cardinals or something. Sorry. I just hate Kyler. I don't hate him. I just don't understand why he's touted to be a really good QB, because I just don't think he is. I just think it's so weird how many non-ball knowers want to have an opinion on football. Like, my coworkers will try to talk to me about ball. I don't see how Taylor Swift fits into ball, Sarah. Personally. I don't know. Like, so many fans of different teams. Like, I've never met a Chiefs fan that knew ball. Not one. In my days, all of my days, I've never met a Chiefs fan that knew ball. And there's so many things out there where it's just like, okay, you want to have an opinion. That's nice. I don't want to hear it, dude. Like, I don't care. Oh, you think Travis Kelce is still the best tight end in football? That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Nice. Good for you, man. He's not. He hasn't been for a bit. I don't want to talk ball with someone that's just going to talk about Travis Kelce and Swift and the Chiefs. And just sort of insufferable, like, people who know media storylines but not ball, you know? People who want to bring up, like, a cool play that was made, but they don't want to talk about whether the defense was playing zone or man. They don't want to talk about the fucking nickelback that's putting pressure on him, hence why he had to go out around the pocket, run around. You know, like, no one wants to talk about the actual reality of, like, why these plays are freaking cool. They just want to be like, these guys made these plays, so they're really good. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. It was really cool when Patrick Mahomes threw a shovel pass. Stupid. Or if I see another person this season go for 2 at the start of the game when, like, they don't have to, oh my god, why are we doing this these days, guys? Why is the league suddenly just giving up on taking the points? It's pretty easy to kick that extra point kick. More often than not, you don't get the 2 points. Why do we do this? Why do we do this? Like, I feel like I've seen games this year at 6-0, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, only 2 field goals. Like, this is kind of a boring game. No, you just missed your 2-point conversion that you didn't have to go to. And now suddenly you made it so it's a 1-score game and they're winning. Like, 1 score and they win. Why do we do this? Why do we do this? Or, like, you don't take the field goal and you go for it on 4th down when you need 10 points and you don't get it. You still need that field goal and the touchdown, right? So you could have used that drive to get the 3 points and then one drive closer to your goal. But now you're still down 10 and the other team's got the ball. And your defense clearly wasn't that good to keep you away from losing before, so why not take the points and leave yourself close, right? Don't get it. The Bills fell into this trap against this, I think it was the Saints game, where they just kept freaking, like, going for 2 points and not getting it. Maybe this was the Dolphins. I'm forgetting now. The Bills always like to do that, though. They'll go for 2 and not get it. And, like, I get it. You want to seem ballsy. You want to take those risks. You want to be Dan Campbell. I want to be Dan Campbell. I don't want to watch my team play like that, personally. I don't want 0-0-0 to come on that clock and we're down 1 point because we didn't go for an extra point. We decided, oh, let's go for 2 and maybe win the game, or maybe lose it for us and not have a chance to win. I swear coaches these days think they're way smarter than the game. Let's humble ourselves. Let's analyze some film and realize, oh wait, we like points. Yeah, wait, like, it's very easy to get stopped on a 2-point conversion. Huh. Weird. It's almost like it's a gamble. Let's stop gambling. Whoa, pause. I'm sorry for what I said. I don't want to even repeat what I said. If I had better editing skills, it wouldn't be in this video, but I don't know how to go back and clip it out. Let's not stop that, but instead let's shift where we are gambling from on the field to off the field. Let's gamble off the field on our phones using FanDuel Sports Betting. I love the app, big fan. I wish they would pay me to say this. They aren't paying me to say this, and I'll still say it. I love FanDuel, personally. Lifetime up. God bless. I know ball. Let's keep the gambling there, you know. I'll gamble on if you make the extra point, if you let me. But I don't want to see you gambling on whether or not you even take it at all. That's not cool. This is my team we're talking about, you know? Like, I go to work every day, and I think about the Buffalo Bills. Every day I think about the Buffalo Bills. And so when Sunday night comes around, and you're in the red zone, 4th and long, I don't want to see you go for it. You know, like 4th and 6, I know we have Josh Allen, and he can do it, and I've seen him beat some odds. But I also just like points on the board, personally. And I think too often we get ahead of ourselves, and we look at what the possible payout is. I fall victim to it. You should see my bet slips sometimes. I look at the payout some days when I make a parlay, instead of why the payout is that big. And it's because it's less likely to happen. And the 2-point is just less likely to happen. Let's take the 1 point. Let's take it. Let's kick the field goal instead of going for it sometimes. 4th and 1, sure, go for it. Go for it. You know, believe in your boys. But also believe in points, because points win the game. Your boys get you those points, the points win the game at the end of the day. And I'm just too tired of seeing people not kick when they should. Has me screaming at the TV, and I feel like such an old head whenever I do it. And oftentimes, like, I'll watch Bills games with old heads because I think it's like a comforting environment to watch football with your elders. No one else is going to be screaming for a fullback to get on the field except someone over the age of 45. And that's an opinion I respect. You don't get that anywhere else. And every old head I know screams, "Why are you going for it?" Every time Dan Campbell goes for it on 4th down. You know what? A lot of the time they're wrong. And like, the ballsy play makes a difference. It's nice to have 4 downs to go 10 yards. It's also nice to have 3 points, though. That's all I'm saying. I think it's worth noting also, like, that directly contradicts my style as like a Madden head coach. Madden head coach, I'm going for it every 4th down, and if I'm not, like, if I'm sending a punter out, he's faking it. He ain't kicking that ball, dude. He may go down, and you may have the ball in my end zone when you get it, but, like, I'm not just giving it to you. No. So I understand why people do it. I understand. I mean, if I'm playing Madden, I do it every time. I've never kicked an extra point in Madden, to my knowledge. I've never punted in Madden, to my knowledge. Maybe when I was 6, and my dad was teaching me how to play, he taught me how to play responsibly, but once I knew what I was doing, we didn't do that. And we started winning. But I don't think these rules apply in real life, because I normally set it to like rookie difficulty so that I can like have the best play you'll ever see. Like, I want like Josh Allen scrambling out of the pocket for like a 99-yard rushing touchdown, because he doesn't get tired in real life either, but especially in Madden. But yeah, no, like, on field, hate the 2-point. Hate it in real life. Madden, big fan. Worth noting that, though. I think it's time to have the conversation about where Jalen Hurts ranks up in the starting QB list, like top 32 starting QBs. He's not top 10 for me. He's not top 10. I don't think he's a very clutch QB. Not clutch, but like, he's not like a technically impressive QB to me. I like my QB to be someone who can air it out. I'm not a big scrambling QB. I love Josh Allen, but like, I don't like scrambling QBs. I mentioned earlier in the video how I hated when the Niners got rid of Alex Smith because they started Colin Kaepernick, and all that guy did was freaking get outside the pocket, run around, or he'd throw like a pick. Like, if someone wants to be a QB and is like run focused, like, let's say early Lamar, your Jalen Hurts, Caleb Williams, not Caleb Williams, Justin Fields. Sorry. Why have them under center? Okay, I'd rather, sure, be a running back. Cool. But if your gimmick, I'm really good at running when I'm supposed to be throwing. How do you throw? I'm better at running. You aren't under center in my team. No. Why would you be? I'm good at running when I'm supposed to be throwing. So then everyone's going to learn you're going to run. And so you're like, oh, I'll throw it now, and they won't get it. And you throw a pick. Colin Kaepernick, every play. I'm going to run because they don't expect it. Oh, no, they expected it. Let me throw. Oh, no, I threw it to the wrong team. It's just ridiculous. Cam Newton was, like, the best quarterback in the NFL because he ran the ball. It's really fun to watch those highlights, yes. It's really fun to watch Josh get out of the pocket. That's not what I love about Josh Allen as a QB. It's his arm. It's the fact that he can launch a ball and it'll look like it's on a rope but go the entire length of the football field. That's fun football. That's a good QB. Patrick Mahomes scrambles, yes. It's so hard to put Patrick Mahomes in the dirt. But it's also so hard to defend against a ball Patrick Mahomes is throwing because he can put it right where you need it. He was a baseball player. He throws the ball. Oh my God. Right. Tom Brady. He wasn't a runner. Drew Brees wasn't a runner. I think in my life I've seen like 2 clips of Peyton ever rushing for a touchdown. One of them, like, he was moving real slow. The greats don't run the ball. The greats throw the ball. Joe Montana. The argument for Joe Montana is the greatest quarterback to ever do it is gone. Sorry, Dad, that conversation was over years ago while I was just a child. But he threw the ball. He didn't run. Mike Vick ran the ball, and obviously his career was shortened by off-field things a bit. He didn't leave the league because of that. I know, if he didn't do that, he probably would have been in the league longer. But he also got figured out because it's he's just going to run. Lamar Jackson didn't become as great as he is now until he learned to throw better. Josh Allen. Nobody wanted to respect Josh Allen until he got more accurate and threw less picks. Yes, he was always airing the ball out and throwing it deep, but he was less accurate than he is now, and he always got hate for it. Everyone's like, oh, Josh Allen isn't a good QB, he's not throwing. But then we see someone like freaking Kyler Murray who can't throw the ball unless it's straight up in the air because he has to catapult it over his line. Just earlier in the season, Jalen Hurts, top 3 quarterbacks. No, he's not. Jalen Hurts can't throw a ball. Yes, he throws a better football than me. I'm not in the league. It's so easy to sit here in my bench seat, in my truck, and talk about NFL players like they aren't good. Every single player I've mentioned today is a wonderful play, fantastic. One of the 0.1% in the world for playing American football. Right. But of those 0.1%, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Jalen Hurts is not top 10 of them. I think he may be bottom 16 for how I rank QBs just because I don't like rush first QBs. And that's what I see from Jalen Hurts. He's handoff or rush himself. How many targets does A.J. Brown have this season? Obviously, he has double coverage every snap. But this is one of the best receivers of the last 10 years in the NFL. And he's not making catches because his QB isn't making throws. I wouldn't throw the ball much if I had Saquon, but I don't think Jalen Hurts necessarily wants to throw the ball even without Saquon. I don't want to listen to anyone tell me how good the Eagles are and how Saquon is such a freak talent, and he's the one doing all this because it's a team effort. But I sure as hell don't want to hear anyone talk about how Jalen Hurts is deserving of MVP or how he's, top 5 quarterback. I wouldn't listen to someone telling me Jalen Hurts is a top 10 QB, personally. Sorry, I've done that so many fucking times now. My truck has so much torque that I'm so cool, it throws my phone on the ground. Yeah, but Jalen Hurts is not. My limit for if I'm talking to someone, and I think if they said Jalen Hurts was like if you put him in your top 5, I am instantly like using that as a litmus test. Like, this person doesn't know ball. Top 10, and I'm thinking, okay, this person doesn't know ball like I do. About it. Based on like my throwing QB opinions, I would genuinely rank Jameis Winston as the best backup quarterback in the league, personally. I think he's so fun to watch when he gets a start. I see a lot of memes talking about like, oh, we should just have Jameis as all-around backup. Like, if any QB goes down, Jameis goes in, which would be so fun because like he's one of those QBs where he's gonna make the throw. He's gonna make it. It's 3rd and long. He's looking at an end zone, not the check down. Jameis Winston doesn't concern himself with first downs. Jameis Winston concerns himself with getting near the end zone. And I respect him for that one. A lot. Like, a lot. I respect the fuck out of him for that. He's cool as fuck. Love Jameis. Justin Jefferson is back, and I don't care who doesn't want to hear it. We talked about this last week, like, oh, I should have started Wan'Dale Robinson over Justin Jefferson. Not this week, baby. Not this week. Let's go. Like, oh, thank you. Thank you for this. Because, like, I was scared for a moment that, like, he wasn't going to be back quite the same. But we got Jay Jettas in the league, baby. We got this. Like, I have him in both my leagues this year, and he's back. I felt like an idiot for having him in both leagues. And, well, I was one for the first couple weeks, I guess. But he's back. He's back? All right. I am starting JCM for the Commanders this week. He's our running back. Yeah. I feel like the Rizzler for that move, dude. Holy. I think he's got like 26 right now. And we're at like the bottom of the 4th. Shout out JCM. Like, guy came out of nowhere. Like, I wasn't familiar with his game before, like, a few weeks ago, really. Studied him up because I got an offer for a trade, and he was a part of it, right? Ah, Christ, I don't even remember what I gave up, but I know it was to Nick, and I think I fleeced him, probably, because JCM's doing well for me, and Nick, respectfully, like, bro, I love you. Stop trying to trade with people in fantasy football. This is going to sound really harsh, but it's coming from the bottom of my heart in a place of love. Stop trading in fantasy football. Every time, somehow the other person makes out better. I don't know who's doing this to you. I don't know who in the universe is pulling these strings, but you need to start doing like the most basic things you can, like if a basic white girl was given an NFL fantasy account, run it like that. Like, oh, I know who Justin Jefferson is. Like, no more trades, no more waiver wire pickups. Like, hell, I wouldn't even touch your lineup, bro, because somehow the fantasy gods spit in your face every time. I'm sorry. Like, I feel like this shouldn't even be included, but I don't really remember how to edit at all. And by remember, like, I don't know how to edit bits out. And I want to keep that JCM bit in the middle. And it was a perfect segue into talking about you because you traded him to me. Leave a comment if you remember what I gave you, Nick, because I don't. So it clearly couldn't have been that good. Does anybody know, like, the brand of a good, like... This is going to sound really stupid. A dog kibble that is theoretically human safe. Because, like, I'm not saying I'm going to have it every night for dinner. But some days I don't want to do anything. And I can't keep eating out. You know, like, I'm cooking right now. I got some, like... I'm really just cooking some beef with some onion and garlic. And then I'm going to have, like, some fucking potato. I hate adulting. The only shining light in adulthood is FanDuel Sportsbook. Please sponsor me. Please, I would do anything. It's the only good part about being an adult is you can gamble, you can drink. That's pretty tight, too. That's pretty tight. Anyways, yeah, human-friendly dog kibble. I'm not going to have it for dinner, right? But, like, dead ass, hear me out. Like, just a handful of, like, tasty kibble. Like, at around, maybe not even for your lunch, but, like, hour after lunch, hour and a half after lunch. I get a little peckish in between lunch and dinner, and I want a snack. But I want something that's not useless. And if someone tries to give me a fucking protein bar that tastes like sand and cheeks, no, I don't want that. Give me kibble, dude. Like, they got meat in kibble. They got meat in kibble, and, like, there's probably, you could get some, like, Gaines kibbles. I imagine there would be protein kibble. And just, like, a little bit, a handful, almost, like, it's like eating cereal, but with some Gaines in it. I don't know. It could be the move. Like, I really think that could be a thing for the NFL. Guys, I am terribly sorry. It's dark out now, as you can tell. And back when it was light out earlier, start the video, rewind now if you want. I said some things about the Broncos I need to take back now. I do. I've wizened. I've watched a good day's worth of football. And the Broncos beat the Eagles, dude. The Broncos beat the Eagles today. Eagles going in undefeated. Broncos took the dub in the last quarter, too. Now, I would just like to say I'm putting no input on whether or not that was and like unnecessary roughness there at the end there in the fourth. But that sure won the game for the Bronx now, didn't it? Yeah, the fourth quarter upset, always fun to see, especially against an undefeated team. I am, like, deathly afraid that that's going to happen tonight. Not even, like, a fourth quarter upset. Just an upset against the Bills. Going 4-0, or going into a game 4-0, and playing a divisional opponent, especially the Patriots. Yeah, that's scary. I am a 22-year-old male. That means for the formative years of my life, I watched the Patriots and Tom Brady steamroll everyone. So I've never once discounted the Patriots in my life. I've never, like, gone into a Patriots game thinking, like, oh, this will be easy. No. And it won't be, because it's divisional. That's how football works. But I'm sorry to make this about the Bills. Broncos country, dude. Let us ride. I made a lot of claims today about Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo. And the Giants as a whole, I'm not even a Giants fan. I don't know why I'm getting so, like, passionate about this. Because I know they lost today. I know. But damn, is it exciting to see a new QB, isn't it? You know, like his second start in the NFL. I like to watch that. I do. You know, like, maybe a lesser man edits out everything I said about Jackson Dart and how awesome he is and how, like, the Giants are turning it around. Lesser man edits that out. Wise man doesn't know how to edit. That's right. Leave it in. Debo just scored another touchdown for me, boys. Let's go. Guys, thanks for make-believing with me in my fantasy team this week. I'm going to let you go because I'm not talking to y'all while the Bills play. Bye.